IVM.
There's a quick survey to fill out on ivmpodcast.com/survey. It lets us know a little bit more about who's listening to us. And you know what? We're going to do a few prizes. So, we'll do a random drawing of maybe 10 people and we'll send you all some swag. Remember, that's ivmpodcast.com/survey where you can fill out the survey.
Hello and welcome to the Habit Coach Podcast, the bite-sized podcast filled with quick and easy actionable habits. Remember, great habits create that awesome life. I am Ashton Doctor, your habit coach. And today's fun fact of the day has to do with the letter X. Did you know that using the letter X in mathematics and algebra could be traced back to Baghdad in 820 AD? In the ancient manuscripts like the Al-Jabr, they talk about the rules of algebra. All unknown variables were referred to as shay, S-A-Y, shay, translated into English, which meant things. So for example, an equation would read as 4 things, or shay, equal to 20. So then you have to find what the thing was. Later on, when the Al-Jabr was being translated into Spanish, the word shay, S-A-Y, which meant thing, was spelled as X-E-I and pronounced shay. This, over the course of time, became X. Now, X became widely used as an unknown, X-ray for unknown rays, or Malcolm X used it in a surname to represent all the unknown ancestors of his. There are obviously other theories on how X became the torture device of students learning algebra all over the world. And personally, for me, nothing gives me more dread than trying to find the value of X. But today, however, I wanted to share a concept made famous by Grant Cardone, and his brand is called 10X. He wrote a book called 10X as well. The idea is about breaking our thinking patterns. As we know, thoughts are also habits. We often think in terms of linear growth, where our lives improve a little by little as time moves forward. We think of getting a raise. We think of getting a slightly better car. From managing, we become senior managers. We grow slowly in a linear fashion. All through our lives, we are taught to think in a linear fashion. Even the way we progress in our friendships and relationships are in a linear fashion. Hence, our lives grow at a steady pace. And I know you're interested in growth in all areas of your life, which is why you listen to the Habit Coach podcast. And I know your life is improving day by day. But what if you could grow much faster? What if you could change your thinking from linear growth to exponential growth, where the growth doesn't just increase steadily, but it multiplies? As your habit coach, I want to see you live your fullest, biggest, and bestest life. And this begins by changing your thinking, your mindset. Your mindset has to shift dramatically for it to work. So look at your life and ask yourself, how can I make this 10 times better? How can I make my financial health 10 times better? How can I make my relationships 10 times better? How can I make my lifestyle 10 times better? All your daily habits, how could you make them 10 times better, 10 times more? For example, if you read 3 books in a year, how can you start reading 30 books a year? When you get into the habit of asking yourself this question, your mindset starts to change. It starts looking for opportunities that could lead to exponential growth instead of opportunities that will lead to linear growth. Don't just stay focused on the material growth of your life, like money and all of that. Think about relationships, knowledge, travel, anything else that has a deep meaning for you. Think of exponential growth in all these aspects of your life, and it all starts in your mind. So your super simple habit to grow by 10x starts by asking the question, how can I increase this by 10x? What needs to change in my life? What do I need to start doing? What do I need to stop doing? And I can't wait to see you grow by 10x. Usually in a podcast, it's me who speaks to you and you who listens. But I've been seeing your comments and it's time. It's me listening to you. Following the overwhelming success of this podcast, the good folks at IVM Podcast Network have decided to come up with a Kannada adaptation of the show for those who prefer listening to it in that language. Do make sure you let your Kannada speaking friends know about this as well. Now, if you like this podcast, don't forget to check out other interesting podcasts on the IVM network. You can listen to us on the IVM Podcast app or ivmpodcast.com. You can also follow us on social media. We are at IVM Podcast on Twitter and Instagram. If you want to reach out to me, I am at Ashton Doc on Twitter and Instagram. We have a brand new habit coaching online course, quizzes, videos, and a lot more on the website awesome180.com. So check it out now.
Hey everybody, it's been another great week on the IVM Podcast Network. On Cyrus Says, Aditya Raj Kapoor, a long-distance biker, tells Cyrus all about his exciting solo travel around the world. On the Filter Coffee Podcast, Ujala Chaudhary talks to Karthik about growing up as an adopted child. On The Habit Coach, Ashton talks about how we can put on our explorer's hats and seek adventure. On All Things Policy, the Takshashila folk analyze the implications of simultaneous elections in India. And on Say No to Drama, Chetna helps us identify green flags in relationships. Do follow us on social media. We're IVM Podcasts on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. And remember, if you enjoyed this show or any of our other shows for that matter, do please tell a friend. Also, don't forget to rate us on any of the platforms you're listening to us on. You can check us out on YouTube as well. On ivmpodcast.com/YouTube, we have a list of all of our YouTube channels. Do check out if your favorite show is available as full video. We are also doing a small listener survey to better understand how you respond to our shows and advertising on the network. We'd really appreciate it if you could spare a few minutes to fill it out. It helps us build better shows for you. And finally, we'd like to thank our sponsors for this week, SBI Life Insurance, India Water Portal, and Jupiter, a digital banking app. Thank you so much for making this possible.
Love fighting?
We've got you covered.
Check out our show, The Fighting Goat, where we, the voices of the internet, Arjun Chipalkatti and Somesh Kamra, bring to you crazy weekly action on your favorite combat show, The Fighting Goat.
Be it commentary, breakdown, predictions, analysis of styles and techniques.
And of course, your round of favorite fighters.
You can listen to us every Thursday on the IVM Podcast app, website, and all major podcast streaming platforms.